Good afternoon, amigos, from...
Well, you'll have to wait till the end of the video to find out where we've made it to, but it's not Bacalot.
Oh, we will get to that, but today we want to do a quick question and answer video. And we have lots of questions we got from @Kinetic Kennons on Instagram, all answered from many of you. So,
without further ado, let's do this. The first question, starting off with a heavy hitter. How do you make money traveling?
That is a very, very good question, and one day we hope to know, to find the answer.
Yeah, I think this is something that everyone is curious about, and here are a couple ways that we personally make money. Everyone makes money differently. I feel like that's the good thing with the invention of the interwebs and social media is everyone is allowed a different platform. So one of the ways we make money is off of YouTube ads. So when you guys watch a YouTube video and there's an ad that plays at the beginning of the YouTube video, Greg and I earn a small percentage of that ad revenue, and that's paid directly from YouTube. It's
like a little bit every 1,000 views, so that the views really have to be accumulating. Yes. So that's like a small portion.
The second and most important way that we make money is through our own community. That's right, through you guys on our Patreon page. I'll put a link right here. And this Patreon is a community that sort of works like Netflix in that it's a monthly subscription. So you can choose to contribute any amount monthly towards our efforts, and that goes into production quality, hotel stays, things like that. Everything from a bus ticket so that we can actually put our feet in the ground in new cities to updating and upgrading our equipment, things like that.
Yeah, helping us share Mexico with the world. So thank you, patrons, and thank you everybody for watching, liking, and sharing these videos, because without you we cannot show Mexico to the world. Next question, please.
Are you planning to stay in Mexico once you run out of states and cities to explore? If yes, what city would it be?
Ooh, that is tough. We have a long ways to go before we run out of cities, much less states. We've only visited around half or so of the states.
I think it seems so far that it's like the thought of settling down, I don't even think has crossed our minds. If it does, it's like, well, we'll do that when we're old.
Yeah, when every place we just left Bacalot, for example, and like there's several places we didn't go when we got to go there. So like we're already looking forward to going back to Bacalot.
Yeah.
To visiting some of the places that we recently visited. We're looking at Chiapas, at El Chepe, and Veracruz, and even we know on those trips, like there's going to be a thing or two here we miss, and things we miss from cities we've lived in before. So I
don't think we're going to run out.
That's a long ways off. Yeah, all Mexicans know we're a long ways off from actually running out of places. That said, I mean, I think we want to travel to other places, but Mexico is home, and I think it's going to be that way for quite some time.
Yeah. Next question. What would you say to those who say Mexico City is dangerous to travel to? This is a really good question. Yeah. I think a lot of people say, I know us alone have gotten several emails like, hey, I'm thinking about coming to Mexico City, but I've heard it's dangerous, or my family tells me it's dangerous. What would you guys say to that?
I think I would say any place people are visiting in Mexico City, any place anybody's suggesting you visiting Mexico City, we've never had or felt unsafe, or we've never had any issues or felt like, oh, I don't know if I'd bring my family to Roma. I don't know if I'd bring my family to Condesa or Centro or Coyoacan or Santa Fe or San Angel.
Yeah, again, the top 100, 200, 500 places that tourists or people would be visiting in Mexico City, I would say are just as safe as any other city in the world with 20 million people in it. I think it's like going to New York City. There's obviously the certain risk involved with potentially pickpockets. It's just busy. You kind of traffic, crossing streets. I feel like there are inherent risks, food poisoning, right? Like those inherent risks are there in every big city across the world. Do I personally believe that there are inherent risks greater than those or different than those for a visitor to Mexico City? No.
And just for context, for what it's worth, my mom came here. My sister, that's like 10 years old or 11 years old. How old is she? They came here and we had a blast, and we didn't really think twice about it.
We traipsed up and down Madero Street.
Didn't think twice about it. It's one of the best cities in the world. It's possibly our favorite city in Mexico. So I think for, I don't know, sometimes I feel like we want to change people's minds, obviously, by showing Mexico to the world. And then other times, sometimes I just feel like, you know what? Like, if you don't think Mexico is safe enough, then, like, just leave it to the rest of us that already love this city. So, I don't know.
More tacos for us. Next question. How do you cope with the pressure of full-time YouTube, and is self-care a priority for you?
Self-care is obviously a priority. I don't even know exactly what that means. We brush our teeth and get plenty of sleep and exercise, and
not necessarily even hygiene, but I think we do take time to be Gregg and Hillary off camera.
Yeah.
And I think that spending quality time together as a family, as a husband and wife, there's actually a lot that you guys don't see, whether it's Gregg journaling or me FaceTiming with my family 12 times a day. So I do think that for both of us, actually, self-care and taking care of Gregg and Hillary outside of Kinetic Kennons is one of our top priorities.
Yeah, and that's honestly the only way we can upload videos every single day is by taking care of ourselves and doing things the way we do things and doing things that we want to do and taking care of. If we take care of us, then the camera takes care of itself. And how do we deal with the stress of YouTube? I mean, I think like we wouldn't have it any other way. I think we both kind of have a semi-entrepreneurial spirit and like running and gunning and going and pushing ourselves and being broke and trying not to be broke is exciting.
That is the best motivation, I think, for both of us. I think we both work so much better under pressure, and I honestly don't know if we didn't film a video or more than one every single day, I don't know what we would do.
We would be bored.
We would be very bored. So I think the stress for us, a lot of times the stress that comes with what we do every day is a good positive energy stress. That's not to say we don't get very stressed with internet. I feel like internet across Mexico has been one of like the most difficult, frustrating stressors. But other than that, I think that the energy and the stress has been mostly positive.
Exactly. We're doing something we love and we find a way to make it work. And I think anytime you're doing something you love, you always find a way to make it work.
Yeah. Next question. Does Gregg miss his long hair?
I feel like in Bacalar, I miss my long hair because it just felt like, man, this is a hippie place. But no, not really. It was not that fun. It wasn't that fun.
Are you sponsored by the Mexico Travel Board? I'm assuming like the tourism board.
Super interesting question. We are not sponsored by the Mexico Travel Board, although coming up we have partnered with Mexico, and it's gonna be fun.
It is gonna be a lot of fun.
But like we don't get paid by Mexico, or we've never actually been paid by a brand at all. I don't think. These videos are sponsored by you.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger thing is that like you guys are literally our sponsors. So no, we've never had a paid deal ever.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should feel proud or embarrassed, or I don't know if I'm being too open, but
I feel proud because we're not like working for a company. We're not working for someone that says it has to be this way. You need to get this shot. You need to say this about Mexico.
Right.
You need to go to this place and do this.
Well, it really allows us, again, those to me would be, could be big time stressors. And that's something that like we just put on ourselves. We just say what we want to say without having any caveats.
Exactly. And a lot of times we're able to ask you guys on Instagram or on Patreon to decide where we're going, what we're doing.
Right.
And that's just the coolest thing to us.
Yeah. A community-sponsored group, I think, is the way to go.
That being said, Travel Mexico, if you're watching, we really
of course.
We really want to go to Chiapas, and we really want to do El Chepe. So let's talk.
Those are bucket lists next. Next question. What does it feel like to be on the verge of 100K on YouTube? I happen to know this question comes from our amigos, the Perms.
Los Perms, J-Dog, J-Man, Justin. I don't know. It feels surreal. We've said this like since day one. I can't believe anybody more than just our parents watch
again, it's like, I don't know whether to be proud or embarrassed. Like when when we meet you guys on the streets, it's like, oh my gosh, you've seen our videos. Was I normal in that one? Big day. Surf's up, brah. Oh my gosh. Better be ready to squat, girlfriends, because that ain't gonna have a toilet seat.
I mostly feel embarrassed, but I feel proud, not for what we've done, but what for you all have done in building this community. And we have tried to build Kinetic Kennons as a community first platform, and you all are the biggest part of that. And we thank you for watching these silly videos and commenting and being a part of our life and letting us be a part of your life. And it's just incredible to see. See what we're doing grow,
to see the community that we may have played a tiny part in starting, to see it flourish and grow sort of like organically. I really do feel like, I mean, I know everyone says this, but I feel like our community is one of a kind. You guys inspire us to be kind and encouraging and supportive, and I feel like it makes our hearts happy when we see you guys interacting with one another, because that would have never happened had this community not existed, and that's thanks to you guys.
Yes, so thank you, and thank you, J-Dog.
For the question. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, man, we're getting deep.
No kidding. Jeez, I'm gonna eat some popcorn.
We're getting deep. If we could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself?
I feel like I know. I thought about this one today.
Okay, go.
I would say that I am so thankful to have been given an opportunity to like completely change my life at the age of 28 or however old I was when I lost my job. I think that it would have been very, very hard for me to ever take the leap of quitting a job that I was okay with but didn't love. I was pursuing a career that I liked, but I did not admire. And I think my advice would be to myself, like, do it. Join the team, quit the team, take the job, don't take the job, quit the job, move to the city you want to move to, leave the city that you're just okay with. I think all of those choices that seem so risky and so scary, I think that, again, I'm just fortunate to have realized that, like, you only get one shot to be in control of your own life. And I'm thankful that, like, I realized that I was not in control of my own life at the age of 28 and not 58. Sorry, that's
wow, that was good. Yeah. No, and I think our lifestyle of moving and going and this thing we have created on YouTube, we're not in a place for a very long time. So we have to maximize our time and experiences in one place. But again, with what I said, I think anything I personally have like really gotten out of life has always come when I just like
a little uncomfortable.
Got a little uncomfortable, made a hard decision, had a tough conversation, made a choice that wasn't easy, or just wasn't normal, or just took action that I knew I should have been taking and was holding off on, which is part of being uncomfortable. So that's our advice to ourselves going forward, is to continue to
get the shot, get uncomfortable, like on a day-to-day, like ask if you can take a picture, ask that person's story. On a minor baby level, I feel like that would be my advice going forward.
And just taking chances, and hopefully we can inspire you to do the same.
Quit your job!
I don't know if it's quite time to quit your job, but whatever it is.
Quit your job, start a vlog.
Start a vlog, then quit your job. That's what we did.
Next question. What are the biggest challenges you've had while traveling?
The biggest challenges we've had?
Finding food.
Because we are absolutely starving.
Yeah, finding food, I think.
When we stay in a hotel I mean, I know that sounds super crazy, right? Like that is the biggest challenge of our lives. But I think finding any sense of routine is a little bit hard, and also seriously taking good care of ourselves when we travel in a fast pace. Now, when we're somewhere for, I think, like more than 4 or 5 days, but during those fast travel weeks, I think taking good care of ourselves, sleeping, eating, things like that become a lot more difficult than you may think. Like staying in a hotel seems like luxurious, but when you're forced to eat out because there's no other option, I think like the little things sort of become big things.
Yeah, when we're usually not in a place long enough to find out where the good OXXO is, where the good supermarket is, where the good tacos are. So as soon as we find them, we're gone. But we try and do like we found like pumpkin seeds at OXXO. We found out like those are like a perfect.
I just discovered those a week ago.
Healthy snack for us. So it's like we're learning little things along the way. But yeah, it's just like staying rested, hydrated.
The day-to-day challenges. I think like I feel like the big stuff for us is easily figured out. Like okay, we need this bus ticket and we need to this hotel and we're gonna go here and go there. But to me, it's the little things that sometimes become tricky. Or if we have one pair of shoes and we get caught in a rainstorm. Like, we just have to blow dry our shoes.
It's just mostly about food. It's just about food.
Let's be honest. Yeah. Next question. With being in Mexico for a while now, which state would you consider to have the best food? Oh my gosh, this is so deep.
That's super hard.
Getting intimate.
Right off the bat, my first thought when I read that is Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. Tlayudas.
Look how big these things are.
How many tlayudas is acceptable to eat?
I would say tlayudas are just so good.
Yeah, I think Oaxaca for me too. I would say in a close second after only spending a few days there was Morelia. Surprisingly, every single meal we had in Morelia was like the bomb. I also really enjoyed comida yucateca.
Yes.
But it was sort of hit and miss for me with a little bit too much grease. But I mean, I ordered marquesitas and panuchos.
I found pretty good cochinita pibil everywhere we went. We've had delicious food in pretty much
like Puebla.
I was gonna say Puebla's pretty good. But again, right off the bat, my first gut was Oaxaca. Although I love
that gut says Oaxaca. Is that gross? Next question. If we can only go to one place in Mexico, what place do you recommend? I mean, it depends. Are you 80 or are you 12? Do you want the beach or not the beach? Do you like cold or hot weather? What kind of food do you like?
There's so many amazing places. We're trying to put together like a diagram to actually answer this.
How do you flowchart Mexico?
Just one place. Oh man.
Like, do you speak Spanish? Not that that's an inhibitor.
Depending on where it is,
but
it
could make or break your vacation a little bit. Either way.
Guanajuato's a good choice. Mexico City's a good choice.
I think Morelia.
Morelia is an excellent choice. Depending on what you're looking for, Bacalar is a good choice.
Querétaro is a good choice. Huasteca Potosina.
Oh my gosh.
Campeche,
Puebla.
San Miguel de Allende.
Isla Mujeres.
I think that answers the question pretty well. Did I give you a place? Another question, getting deep. Are you guys voting in the midterm elections? For the first time ever in my life, I'm voting! Yes, we're both voting. We have registered and are receiving our absentee ballots.
Yep.
Another deep,
thought-provoking
question. Oh, okay. Are you going to Michoacan for the Day of the Dead?
We'll have to see.
When? Holbox. Not soon enough.
Not soon enough.
I'm in a sweater.
We definitely want to go there very soon, especially after going to Bacalar and seeing so many comments about it.
Yes.
Potentially by the end of, before 2019.
Yeah.
Hopefully before
if we can logistically get it planned out.
That's our goal. That's our goal.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
Thanks for putting that on me. Last, but definitely not least, will you visit your family during Thanksgiving holiday?
This is by far the toughest part about living in Mexico, and it's just being away from family in general. When we lived in the States, we lived in Dallas, super close to my family, and 3 hours away from Hillary's family. Short answer, no, we will not be going back for Thanksgiving. We'll be going back for Christmas. Yeah. And we've been away for Thanksgiving 2 years now, and both of them felt really weird.
They did feel really weird.
And it's like the only time I felt like...
Sat on the turkey. Well, and our families. Mostly the turkey.
I think like for me, that's like the only times I felt like sad to be in Mexico, which sounds, but it's just like, I mean, if you can imagine whatever holiday for you
that's special for your family.
For your family and not being able to be there, that's just tough.
But to put a positive spin on things, which we tend to like to do, I think the time that we have spent with our families since living in Mexico, the quality and the duration of time that we've been able to spend with our families has actually increased, which doesn't make any sense like mathematically. But I do think that overall it, in a weird way, has brought us closer, which again, I realize doesn't really sound correct, but when
we take like vacations together, or like when we go back to Christmas, we'll be there for 2 weeks, and we'll spend 4 or 5 days with my family and 4 or 5 days with Hillary's family.
And we would never spend 4 or 5 days. I wouldn't have taken off work.
No, we would go and then drive back home and sleep in our own bed. And like we just spent 2 days with my dad and stepmom, and or 2.5, 3 days, and it's 3 full days. And again, like we live in the States, we would never spend 3 full days. So we do have opportunities like that. But when there's holidays, it is a little tough. So if you can send us some turkey, some cranberry sauce, and some yams.
Expect my yams on the way.
Though I think we're gonna do like a Thanksgiving in Mexico video this year, potentially. Amigos, I think that is all we have. Those are all the questions we have. So I know that is all we have. Where are we at?
Do you want me to say?
I think we can say if people made it this long.
Okay. We are in a city muy grande. We are in DF.
DF, amigos. We're in La Ciudad de Mexico. Chilangolandia. We have some big plans coming up over the next few days.
Huge.
Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, because some of the videos we have planned, I think, are going to be some of our best. I hope. Maybe this one on our best.
They evolve pawn.
Doubtful. Alright, amigos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to get notified
every time
we upload a new video, and we'll see you
tomorrow
with a much shorter video, maybe.
From
I see that in me. I'm used to not saying it.
Bye.